Hi, I'm Sara, she's Trixie, and this is our Yarn World, a place where we come to share our love for yarn crafting with you guys and the grounding, the mental stability that it kind of helps provide us.
Yeah.
And this video comes 1 week after our last one. We originally had said that we were going to be doing every 2 weeks, but we are attempting to see how once a week works. So this might just be a temporary thing, but I'm just giving you that update forward. I really hope that you guys are having a good Christmas season. I hope that things are going well for you.
Yes.
We got some stuff to show you and share with you today. So
not as much, but we've got stuff to share.
Yep. So grab something warm to drink and let's get into it.
And I just wanted to make this for the show notes that this is the Yogi tea that I'll be drinking today is the Egyptian licorice, just so that you can see the packaging and everything. So, yeah. And I got a new cup today. It's an actual plaid, so it looks Christmassy.
And I've stuck to what I stick to, and I'm just doing hot cocoa. Because I stick to what I like.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Let's start with what you got today, because she actually has a finished project. Normally I'm the one with the finished project, but not today.
So, last week we showed you.
My goodness, you're just a whiz.
This section here, I'm gonna need help a little bit.
Okay.
So, started out with this, and it went all the way. So we're flipping it. We're gonna flip it. So I was halfway through this the last time, and so yeah, we're all the way down to the end, and I got to put in some more of this brilliant colorway, because I had a little bit more of it, and he likes blue, so that just helps a lot. But it's finished. It fits a twin size bed, and today I'll be able to package it and make a nice little card telling them how to take care of it and why I sent it, and that it's a prayer blanket so that it's been prayed over while I was working on it, so that he could get the anointing off the blanket while he was healing up. So yeah, it's finished. I'm so glad. And you?
Well, if you saw that my eyes were trailing down, it's because we have no notes for today, unlike normal videos. Almost everything that could happen has happened today to try to make this video not happen, and I wasn't able to write down what I might
actually speak about.
Yeah, not only that, but I've been making patterns that are actually from people. Normally I just do my own. So today, so the last couple of videos, I keep saying, hey, this is something I've been inspired to make, or something that is
off Pinterest or something.
Pinterest, or something that actually someone took the time to make and before me, and I keep forgetting to have their name.
Right.
And because of that, I am trying to eliminate that issue and share who has came up with this awesome design of Bowser, the one that I was telling you that only was a whole bunch of pieces, where it's not a whole bunch of pieces anymore. He's not completed, but it is enough to be able to give you an idea. But on further inspection, this lady only goes by the name Shelly.
Well, Shelly did it.
Yep, it's Shelly. She has her own link to this Bowser pattern. I think what I will do is I will just link in the description box the pattern for him, and that way you have access to it. I feel like that's going to be the easiest way to do it. I can also do the Mario one if you think that would be a good idea as well.
I think so.
Because that way that gives you the
pattern description.
A direct link to where the inspo and how to do this is. Now, I'm just going to say this real quick. This pattern, I did have to tweak. There were some things I had to tweak on it. And she doesn't have a lot of detail as to the assembly, and with something as small detailed parts as this was, you'll see why I would not suggest this for a beginner, maybe, just because it would be very frustrating. She said that she was planning on redoing this pattern and redoing it, taking photos, the step-by-step processes, how to assemble it, and then the second time doing it.
Right.
But with her Bowser already completed, she didn't want to just assemble it to do that, so she is working on that.
There's no way I could do it.
Well, okay.
Blankets are easier than this.
Well, okay, so this is pinned, so it's not completed. You'll see a whole bunch of bobby pins in it, but this is the head of Bowser.
The pearlized pins are not going to be part of the design.
No. And okay, so many pieces. I got his body done and his legs, and I got a tail, and this is the part that I added. So as you can see, this was just straight single crochet, and you can see that I added some half double crochets to add to it. Part of the reason why is because she just wanted just this, and I wanted it to be able to stand up. And so I needed this tail to be longer. But I used felt for the toes, and I'm doing that for fingernails and the teeth.
And the tongue.
Oh, and the tongue and the inside of the mouth is all felt as well, and so will the eyes. So the eyes are not done yet, just to take note. This is his one arm.
Wow, that looks so cool.
It has bands that he will be wearing with spikes on them. I just don't have those done yet. And his
back.
His shell is done.
So cool. Oh my gosh.
So in the spirit of trying to show off what he's gonna look like, can you hold the head? Oh no, I need the head hold up here so that I can get a shot of the shell. Up, right there. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yes, he is.
So, just so you're aware, we will have another video out before this is gifted to my nephew.
Yes.
So you will see him completed. But I spent so many days making the parts to this thing, and it was a long time. I think it almost took me about 2 weeks to get all these parts completed. And so I'm thinking, oh, the parts are done, now the easy part's coming.
Sewing is never the easy part.
No. I worked 7 hours on him yesterday, and I'm not even close to being done. So don't lie to yourself. Don't try to make it seem nice. But like this. You have these balls right here that are used to shape the face. These were all made separately, and this one was made separately. And then these pipes on the side of his face were made separately, and I know you can't tell, but these are 3 pipes that were sewn separately.
My gosh.
And she did go into detail how that was to be put together. So she explains that, but this head, I know you can't see because of all the spikes, but this head is just a cone. And she never explains how you're supposed to attach the mouth to the head. And so at the tip of the head where it starts with the magic ring, I almost thought that that's where it had to be set. Because then the jaw would be like right at the end of the, where I finished off. And in my head, that's where it was supposed to be. But when I made this, I realized there's no way that would have worked.
Right.
No way. And the back wasn't finished. Like it was just a cone.
Right.
There was no bottom to this cone, so it would be left open. I was like, how is that supposed to work? Right. And then I realized the opening to the end of the cone was supposed to attach right here.
Oh.
And so I stuffed it, and then I put felt right there. I sewed the felt on so it was a completely enclosed dome. And then, of course, I made the bottom of his jaw with the black felt, and then his tongue I just sewed it down with the black string. And of course I had to sew him completely together.
Oh, that's so cool.
But I still have to get all his hair and his spikes completely on. As you can see, here's all the strings I'm using from I'm going to be using to sew, and I still have the eyes to do. I don't know how well this will see with phone to phone, but this is what he's supposed to look like in the end. So, if that gives you an idea as to what he's supposed to look like, that is it. He is big. Like, compared to the Mario, he is big. I don't have Mario right next to me, otherwise I would show you. I will next week when we make the video. I'll have all the completed gifts. Yeah. And that way you'll be able to see. But he's probably about a foot tall. He's big.
Yes, he is.
Like, to scale next to the Mario, compared to video game, it would be accurate because Mario is smaller.
Right.
But ant problems. I have an issue with giving my nephews toys that are, in my mind, not equivalent to each other. I have put so much extra time into this because it's a more detailed character. So it's not that I'm favoring one over the other. It's just that one's more detailed of a project and more thought requiring than the other.
But it is what they want.
But it is what they want.
You are giving them what they want.
Yes, that's not the issue. What I'm saying is that to try to make up for the size and the complete effort that this takes, in my head, I feel like I need to do something more with Mario. James, my husband, suggested, as a Nintendo enthusiast of himself, Mario does have power-ups that he can actually have. Now, generally, most of his power-ups kind of change the color of his clothes, so I can't do most of them. Oh. But there are some where it's like, he has a cape, so now he can fly. So I'm thinking about maybe making him a cape that can be taken on and off. Okay. Or a little pipe. So Mario is supposed to be I know most people know him as just this platforming character from Nintendo, but his backstory is he's an Italian plumber. Yes. And this, you would think it's a dragon, but he has a shell. So maybe he's part turtle.
Dinosaur?
I think he might be a dinosaur. Steals a princess. In my head, I don't know how that works right there because he's living in Italy.
I don't know.
Modern day Italy. Does modern day Italy even have that sort of political affiliation? I don't know.
It is a fantasy world, right?
So. I know, but it was made in Japan. So he's an Italian plumber that goes into pipes to fight all these enemies that this guy, so some sort of underworld that this guy lives in, to save a princess that actually has an actual castle, so it's not like modern day, but okay, I'm getting a little too ahead of myself, sorry, gamer coming out. But he has a pipe that he travels through in the game, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have like a little pipe that is just, it'll rest on just whatever the table or the whatever he's going to play with, that Mario will sit in so he can look like Mario's coming in and out of the pipe. Oh. So I think that I might do that because that will be easily done and achievable before Christmas as an addition to make it a little bit more playable and a little bit more maybe appealing comparatively, because this is brothers. So it's not just nephews, where it's like they are nephews to me, but with brothers, they're going to be living in the same house.
Right.
I don't want any
playing the games together.
Right. So I just don't want it to seem like, well, she made me a big toy and him a small toy.
No, I don't think they'd ever think that.
I know, but I'm trying to alleviate stuff. I know. Maybe I'm just
overthink.
I am overthinking it, but I'm making the video longer, so I hope that you enjoy it.
Yes.
But I did start my other nephew's hat that I was telling you about, but it's just the rim, and there's not much to show, so I don't have that available as another whip to show you, and I've been focusing on this the most, so that all my other whips have been put to the side, so you've seen them. I don't want to show you them because there's no progress to be shown. If there was, I would.
Right.
But this Christmas season is so much different than any other season that I feel like any of us can relate to or have memory of. Like, in some degree, I feel like people who have people serving away during Christmas might understand this feeling more.
Yeah.
Just not being able to see family during Christmas, having something, this this force that is keeping you away from your loved one.
Yeah.
With this one, it's affecting the whole world. You know, Corona is not exactly something that everyone can handle and just be able to just go out into the world and in spite of it.
Right.
Like, I got it. We shared that last week. You know, I'm a pretty strong, healthy, young adult, but it still knocked me down. So I can't imagine what it would do to someone with a weaker immune system. You know, we have to respect that, but I see why people are just so torn as to whether they should
scared to get out. Yeah,
is scared to get out, but also torn by the love that they have with their family. As this is sometimes the holidays are the only time that you actually get to visit some family, and to be able to not be able to see them that time of year that always brings you together. It feels like its whole entire purpose is
to keep people away from each other.
And that
it's a fear factor, and it's not supposed to be like that.
No.
But a lot of people are afraid, and they don't know how to get away from being afraid. My mother-in-law, her grandma, is that way. She is afraid to get out and be with family.
Struggling.
Her birthday just passed, and she, you know, even with Thanksgiving she spent by herself because she's got 3 children. All of them asked her to be with them, and she spent the day by herself because she was just afraid of this germ. Her birthday, again, she did come to my husband in my house. My husband is her son, and
that was nice.
But that was because we live the closest. We live right up the driveway from her, and she did spend some time with us, but it was only us. And Christmas may be the same way. She may just come and spend a few hours with us on Christmas Day because none of the rest of the family can get out. They all, on Christmas Day, all the families go to their other families. Christmas Eve seems to be the part where the individual families get together. And then usually we have our time on Christmas Day with
the married family.
Well, but we spend a little bit of time with Grandma first, and then we go out and we do our other families. But this year it's just all so different, and I think this fear is not coming from God at all.
Oh, no.
I think that Satan is having his way with the fear in this world and keeping people apart and and the sickness and the disease and the trials, the tribulations, the deaths, all of it is something that he's good at. He is one to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's something that he is known for, something that he's good at. God is good. He's loving, but he does he does not. He's a gentleman. He's not going to come into homes that are not allowing him to come into, and sometimes the faith and fear cannot live in the same dwelling, and fear dominates some households, and that is just not the way God intended it, but it's the way the world is living right now. They need to come back to him and be faithful people, but right now people are living in fear. And so I just wanted to put that out there. If you can try to see it that God is for you. He's a loving God. He is the healing God. He He created all things, including germs, good germs and bad germs. So let's say that the faith is the good germs that are going to eat up the bad germs. You just need to have faith that things are going to work out and not be in such fear.
Yeah, I like how you said that. Like, the faith is the good germs, sometimes we have to, work on it. The best way of putting it is, one way that it was explained to me is that when Jesus died and he was bearing all illness, when he died and he rose up, he defeated that illness and everything that was placed on him, and we know it as every single thing that could ail you, disease, every single thing, yes, he bore. So when yes, he defeated it by coming back to life, he was now over that. And someone once was explaining to me that when we're dealing with an enemy's attack, and we feel that they have the upper hand based on maybe the tools that they have against us or something. So, like, maybe you're having a bad day, and whatever you feel can't shake it off. Just feels like everything that's happening, everything is just pushing your buttons and coming after you. Today I've been dealing with that.
Yes, she has.
She walked in, and I was super excited, but my husband left. And at his job, they are hiring for a position just above him. And so he went in his best. But he works in a warehouse, so he was bringing his work clothes with him. Well, he had it all laid out on the top of the couch. And when he left, he only grabbed everything but his work pants. And he's texting me, hey, can you drop off the work pants? But if we were going to do this video, I need to be able to time my kids' nap appropriately for it, and if they were in the car, one of them would fall asleep inevitably, and so there's no way that I'd be able to do that. My mom came over, I was trying to figure that out. I'm trying to get Bowser done, and with Bowser I have this table set up in the living room just so that I can actually work on him, because he has so many pieces where I can actually be with my kids, but my kids are so interested in everything and they want to see, and I want to show them this, but they're kind of young. I mean, yeah, they're young for this. So so I'm giving them like string and yarn to play with. Well, that's getting everywhere. And we just got this kitten, and I know I'm rambling, but I'm getting somewhere. I just got this kitten about a couple months ago, but it's still small enough where the kids can get to it. And it kind of has a bad leg, so it isn't terribly fast. And my 2-year-old, I know it's going to sound bad. She doesn't mean it. She doesn't understand that this cat is not a stuffed animal. She thinks that it's something that she can baby, and her way of playing with her baby dolls and her stuffed animals is when she puts them to sleep, she puts them in a drawer. Yes. She keeps putting this cat in a drawer and shutting it, and I keep hearing meows. Now, she generally lets it out, but I keep seeing to walk in as I'm trying to figure out where the cat is, and I hear a meow coming from the drawer. And she picked up the cat, and I had already told her she wasn't allowed to. She ran to her room, and I told her not to shut the door. She shuts the door. Now, not only does she shut the door, but she has the cat. Now, she can't get out of her room. So I'm running in there, and I'm telling her, because I just know that she's going to want to put that cat in the drawer. I'm like, okay, Olivia, and she can hear me. Olivia, don't put the cat in the drawer. As I'm opening the door, she's opening the drawer. And I'm sitting there being like, I have to get these pants to my husband. I don't know how that's going to work. My mom just walked in and everything's a complete mess. I'm trying to be able to make this video happen, and now I have a friend texting me, the lady with the socks the socks that I made. It's like, hey, can I come over today? And I'm just like, and then I'm going to grab the cat, and I ran into a corner. I just broke my foot. I'm not kidding. I didn't just stub my toe. I broke my foot, and the reason why I know this is because I've done this before. I've actually gone to ER for this, and they will tell you your toe is dislocated from your foot, or that foot bone that's right in between that holds the toes together is broken. I've done this before, and when I felt it, I was like, no, I kept my cool as best I could. I mean, I was screaming, it hurt, but like, I didn't.
She didn't scream at Olivia. She was screaming in pain.
Yeah. Olivia didn't want me to hurt myself, and obviously her disobedience is... I mean, I'm not trying...
She's 2. She doesn't...
Well, it's not just that. This corona, this having to stay home. She has nowhere else to do, nothing else to do, and so she's doing the same things over and over again, and for a 2-year-old, that's really hard to explain. It's different from having a steady routine and only having these things that you can do to entertain yourself. Eventually, you get bored. Even with us, we are in a reading mood and then we're not. We want to watch a whole series and then we're not. Then you want to maybe listen to some music and then music is done. And then you want to craft and then you can't, or that's all you can do. Or maybe you want to go back to reading. And we have things that we cycle through as an adult. Mm-hmm. That we know can entertain us. With kids, they're just stuck.
Yeah.
They don't understand why life sucks right now. And there's no way of explaining to them that this isn't normal. And so I'm sitting there and I'm stuck with this rotten day. And my husband just said he would come home during lunch and pick up his pants. Okay, that kind of relieved me. My toe is hurting. I should say my foot. My foot's hurting. My mom saw my whole entire toe all the way down the side of my foot go purple. So we knew it broke, and I couldn't step on it, and I could feel the bone move. So I am walking around hobbling because I have to get my kids down, because guess who fell asleep? So now I have to get my kids laid down, and guess who's now coming for his clothes, but also wants lunch because I'm having him pick it up on lunch. So now I'm getting his lunch ready, and I'm trying to explain to my friend, hey, I have to film, so I can't just have you come pick up your socks yet. And just all this stuff. But you know what? God.
Yes.
Here's the thing. Here's the analogy I'm getting to. Here's what someone told me. Because God defeated everything. When that thing won't stop, generally we see it as some force with, armed with these tools, and it's hurting us, and it's a sword, and all this stuff, and we just want it to put down, and sometimes we just don't have the strength to say anything other than, Jesus, can you just... I need it to stop, and I know I probably have the ability to make it stop on my own. But I need you right now. I need you to show me what to do. And it's like that, and having Jesus literally come up behind you and look at it and say, you gotta drop that right now.
Right.
I defeated you. You have no power over her.
Right.
And you have to realize that because you have God on your side, standing right there, you get to see that hammer, that sword, that whatever has been pestering you fall at your feet. And it has to do what you say. Because you have the power.
Yeah.
Sometimes the outcome might not be what we want. Sometimes it takes us forever to actually realize we had the power all along.
Oh, we have the power in Jesus' name.
Jesus' name, exactly. Jesus has given us his
name.
His earned victory.
Yes. Yes.
Because he loves us enough to have shared that victory so that our sins are forgiven, our turmoil is taken over, and our illness is already paid for.
Thank you, Lord.
And to say that we don't have trials, to say that there aren't tribulations that we aren't going to go through, that's the life we're going to live in.
Even Jesus, when he lived on this earth, had trials and tribulations. We're not going to get away from that.
Living in the flesh, we're going to deal with this. There's sin in this world. We have to go through stuff. We have to constantly put up the good fight. But remember, the fight is already won. Yes. We already got it. If you're dealing with something, if you're dealing with an illness, just remind yourself, God is more than enough. He's given us the ability to combat this. I'm not saying go off without a mask into a public area. No. And I'm not telling you to defy
we still have to use
the wisdom. What I'm saying is that we don't have to live in fear. With everything going on, especially politically, I've been having a lot of friends come to me being like, do I listen to CNN? Do I listen to NBC? Do I listen to conservative outlets? Do I listen to liberal outlets? And no matter where you are on this spectrum, I would like to challenge you, because I don't believe in news that makes you fear.
Right.
Because then I believe it's not of God.
Right.
I am not saying that that's what their intention is, because it's their job to deliver the news through their chosen world view, their perspective, and I have absolutely nothing wrong with that. I mean, even on the side that I don't agree with, that's their right to show their perspective. But I don't like to feed myself fear.
No.
So what I personally do, and if you're going through this, I would maybe look up statistics for your state as to what Corona is actually doing to your people. Maybe the death outcomes, the illness outcomes, whatever. Get the actual straight facts on the election if that's stressing you out and everything out. Just straight facts as much as you can. Lay that before you. Then give it to God.
Yeah.
Just say, God, this is what I know. I need peace, because he's the God of peace.
And he's bigger. He's bigger than the problem is.
He is the God of being more than enough in a time where there's not enough. He is the I am blank. He can fit it.
Yeah.
And there's something to being able to hand it over and him just telling you this is all you need to know. And sometimes it might be the whole, if this wasn't the president you wanted, or if it was, God appoints good and bad kings, but he is God overall.
Yes.
And he is the God that doesn't give us fear, but a power and of love and a sound mind. And if we don't have a sound mind and the ability to enjoy the peace that he is giving us because we're listening to too much, maybe we should sit back and listen to him and realize no matter the outcome, no matter the corona, no matter how Christmas is going to turn out, no matter how everything is going to turn out politically, he's still king. He's still God. And he's conquered this. He knows what everything's going to happen.
He's been through it before.
And I'm putting it in his hands.
Yes, me too.
And if you have questions, if you need help with this,
leave it in the comments.
Or if it's a little bit more private, we have an email. Go ahead, message us. We'll do our best to pray with you and stand with you in faith that everything in your life could be better. If you need someone to help pray for you over some family members, or if you need help with some victories, or if you need help with illness that you just need some other people praying for you about, or maybe you're just struggling with this whole election stuff and it's just the anxiety and the stress that can cause and how scared you can be.
Right.
I would love to be able to pray for you and help you through this, because I'm not going to lie, even as someone that has been a Christian for a very long time, this beginning of this year just kind of just came out of left field and knocked me down, and I was scared. And then I just was like, God, you're the God of peace. You're the God of healing. Clarity.
Yes.
And he gave me answers. Now, I'm not going to share them here because they were for me.
Right.
I'd be willing to email anybody. But there are answers that God is willing to answer to you if you just ask.
Everybody has their own. Yes.
He's just on the other side of the door. Sometimes we just have to have him come in, just like my mom said. Because if you've welcomed in the things that cause you to fear, he can't work because you've already let something in. If you don't want this in your house anymore, if you don't want this active in your life anymore, you have to be like, God, I want this out. How do I do that?
Right.
And you'll watch him.
And you can even ask him for more faith. That is allowed.
Yep. Because he'll walk in. He'll command them out. He'll show you that you have the power to be able to do that because he's given you the ability to speak life into your home, to speak peace into yourself, and to speak faith into yourself. Sometimes a lot of the fear and the trials that we go through are just from what we are speaking, what we're letting consume us.
Life and death is in the power of the tongue.
You
can speak life or you can speak death. Speak life.
We just have to focus on what God is able to do. Welcome him in.
Yes.
If the news is too much, just turn it off.
Right.
Guess what?
That's all you have to do.
And if you have questions for him, get your answers down on a piece of paper. Ask him.
Ask him and then listen to him.
You'll be surprised. I mean, because God, especially with this election, I'm just like, what are we to do? And it wasn't clear to me.
Right.
Personally, it just wasn't. And clarity. God is the God of clarity, and he gave me the answer.
And we thank him for it.
Yes. I would encourage you. Just take some time. Rest. Even if you need to just get off of social media for a minute. Just take the weekend. The weekend's coming.
Yeah.
Just put down your phone. Just be like, I'm having a little hiatus getting ready for Christmas. No, you got projects.
Yeah.
Sit down. Sit down with your project. Take a minute for you.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Clear your mind and yet let your hands work.
Be creative. Because guess what? Even if you're not doing what your mind is telling you to do, you're still getting something done.
Yeah.
This looks so mean. You're still getting something done. You're being productive.
Yes.
Even if it's a gift for you, that's still being productive. You're doing something for you, and that's okay.
Yes.
It's okay to do something for you.
Right.
And just sit down and enjoy the repetition of a craft or whatever it may be. Be thankful for the gifts that God has given you to be able to use to help with self-care,
Yes.
Be able to maybe even make some gifts for yourself or someone else for Christmas. Just enjoy the season because God has given us the best gift of all. We're about to celebrate it this year. That was Jesus that has conquered everything. And I am so grateful. And this is the year that we just have to remember that
Jesus is the reason for that season.
Not just that, this year has a purpose. And a lot of people have given a lot of words to it, and I think it's just that we come out of it more grateful.
Oh, yeah.
For what we've had.
Yeah.
And Christmas, even though I've celebrated it for every single year since I have been able to, there's something to being able to actually have a bit of a more refreshed look on the story of Christmas and being able to say thank you, God, for your son that has brought me through this year, has been my way through this life.
Yes.
And
thank you for coming to earth for us.
Yes. Well, I'm going to be totally honest, my kids just woke up from their nap, so we're going to have to say goodbye. We don't mean this to be blunt, but we just kind of have to go now.
Yeah.
We thank you for coming and joining us. We hope that this wasn't just a complete blab.
Leave any comments down in the comments, and check out the description area for the links and for anything else that you may have questions about.
Mm-hmm. So. Now, we just ask that you take some time, enjoy yourself, and stitch your way
to mental health.